All right, everybody, how we doing? Uh, Today I'm going to show you guys how to complete the screwdriver base that is here for 1.3.4 CAD modeling skills. This is going to be for procedures 14 through 26. The only thing I'm not going to show you is I'm not going to show you how to do the top lid. I'm going to leave that on you, as well as putting the Made in the USA and your initials on this top portion right here. So, if you go onto Canvas, I have provided you with the drawings already. So we scroll on down through here. We should have the screwdriver-based drawings. Okay, we will be referring to these. If you need them, send me an email. I can send you them as a PDF for later. If you are watching this video and you're not one of my students, you're more than welcome to follow along with these dimensions. These are not the dimensions that you need to use. These are just ones that we are going to be using today. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and start a new part. Okay, we're going to come into create new component. I'll just leave it as is. And then we can come in and start the bottom of our base. Now, going into our drawing, we're going to notice that we have a pentagon right here. So a 5-sided pentagon with this being our dead center. And you're going to notice that we have a dimension of 0.94 from the center going out to the point. So because it is dimensioned to that point, we're going to have to use, let's start from the bottom. We're going to have to use the polygon tool here that is inscribed. If you look at the little icon, you notice that it's point from the center out to that point there. So I'm going to pull it on out. We're going to say this is 0.94. I'm going to make this 5-sided and hit OK. Okay. From there, let's finish that sketch. We're going to come in. We're going to notice that down at the bottom we have a 0.06 inch lip before we do our taper extrusion. So I'm going to come into extrude. This is going to be 0.06. Hit enter. And that looks good. Okay. This next portion is going to be an actual taper. Some of us might try to do a loft. You can, but you will find that you won't be able to loft from center to center. You're going to have a little bit of an issue, which we'll be solving later. But for this case, we're just going to do a basic 45-degree taper. So if you look, we got the very bottom all the way up to here is 0.2 minus 0.06. That means that this from top lip to that lip right there, that's going to be 0.14. So I'm going to extrude this 0.14. But before I hit extrude, I need to change my taper angle to 45, right? However, if I change to 45, it goes out. I don't want it to go out. I want it to go in. So we're going to go back and we're going to make this negative 45. And that looks way better. That's actually what we're looking for right there. And then we're going to hit OK. Okay. Next up, take a look at our drawing. We have this 5-degree taper now. From this portion up to here, it is our same exact shape. If you do some basic math, we take 0.93 and subtract 0.2 from it. We're going to get that this is 0.73 from here up to there. So 0.73, we're going to extrude again. This top face, 0.73. Okay, and remember, I have to make this taper a negative. We said that this is going to be negative 5. Bam. There she is in all of her glory. Cool. All right. So I have that bottom lip, 45-degree taper, 5-degree taper. Okay. This next part, this is going to be the first tricky part. Okay. The first tricky part is going to go from this lip right here. So we just created, and we're going to have to loft it 0.13 inches to a circle. Okay. 0.13 inches to a circle. If we look at our dimensions on our top view, you will notice that I give you 2 dimensions. I give you 1.06 and 1.01. The question might be, well, what do I use? Okay, well, we're not going to use 1.01. We want to use the larger one to create a step for the lid. And what that step is, if I look at our finished part, right, you'll notice that it's going to loft up to here, and then I'm going to create a little tiny step in there. So the difference of 1.06 and 1.01 is going to be 0.05. So it's going to be 0.025 on each side. Okay. What that's going to do, that's going to allow the lid to sit on something, all right, when you actually 3D print it or injection mold it. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to create a loft, all right? We're going to run into a little bit of an issue, but I will show you exactly what that issue looks like. Okay, so if I bring it up to this little loft, so I went into offset plane, okay, and then I clicked on this first one. I'm going to go up 0.13, and I'm going to hit OK. And some of us, the first thing we might do is create a sketch, come on over, I'm going to flip it around, and we're going to create a circle, okay, that is that outside, that larger diameter, which is 1.06, and oh no, we have an issue. Look at that. Our circle is going off of our part. Why? Because this is not a true center of this pentagon. What we need to do is we need to create that true center. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back, we're going to get rid of that circle, okay? I'm going to go down to create, to project, and I'm going to create a projection. Project right here, and I'm just going to click on this inside and hit OK. What that does is now we have this purple pentagon on the top. So if you take a look, it's going to get all, let's pull it here. Okay, if you take a look, we now have the parameter, or the parameter of our pentagon on that sketch plane, and we're going to use that to find our center. So I'm just going to use line construction. I'm going to go point to opposite center, point to opposite center. I really only need to do this twice, so I'm just going to do a third time, because point to opposite center, and then there, that becomes my true center of the pentagon. Okay, so then I can turn off construction, grab a circle, and then we can go 1.06, enter, and then now we have that circle that's in that dead center. So let's go ahead, we're going to go to finish our sketch, we're going to go create to loft, and I want to loft the top of this pentagon right here to the circle that I just drew right there. Look how nice that came out, hit OK, and we're good. All right, so that was just basic loft perimeter there. We're going to do now a second loft. You could theoretically do another tapered extrusion, but in this case, I don't really give you that angle. So let's just go ahead and do that, that loft. So we want to go from the smaller circle. Now we're going to go from that 1.01 that's in that same center, and that's going to get lofted to 0.93 up here. You're going to have to do a little bit of math to determine what is the gap from this edge to this edge there. Okay, if you take 0.13 and 0.93, add them together, and then subtract that from 159, you will then get a distance from here to here, which is going to be 0.53. So let's go ahead. I'm going to create a sketch here. We're going to make a circle. This one's going to be just a tiny bit smaller, so 1.01. Enter, finish our sketch, construct, offset plane again, offset plane up there. I told you this is 0.53. Enter, create a new sketch on here. I'm going to share the same center as I did before. So this was 0.93 also. Enter. Finish my sketch, and then I'm going to loft this inside circle, because now look, there's my step that I mentioned before, right, that little platform. And then we're going to create loft from that inside to this top. Look at that. That's what we want. Nice. Okay. So that is going to be our general body shape. Alrighty. So once we create our general body shape, it's time to move on to the holes that are up top here. Okay, we have one hole that's in the center. I give you that dimension right here. It's 0.29 by 1.4. And then you have 5 of these holes going around the outside of that center. They're 0.1 by 0.06 deep. And I said that there's 5 of them. But something new and interesting that I might not have mentioned to you guys before is I tell you that all 5 of these holes are going to be 0.3 inches from that center. So 0.3, 0.3, 0.3, 0.3, and so on and so forth. So to do that, quick easy thing, let's go ahead, we're going to create a sketch. Okay, I want to rotate this around because my first one is going to be dead center up above, and I'm just going to create a little reference point. So I'm going to say that this is 0.03, no, 0.3, 0.3 right there. Very nice. I already have that vertical constraint. So I'm going to finish the sketch, and then now that's where that first hole that we're going to create is going to be located. If we go back, we notice that this hole right up here is 0.12 inches in diameter and 0.6 inches deep. So we're going to click on that point that we just created. Obviously, that's a little too big. We're making a flat bottom. Just choose simple all the way. We said that this was 0.6 inches deep, and it was 0.12 inches in diameter. Look at that. Perfect. Hit OK, and there she is. All right. Now, some of us might be thinking, okay, well, I just got to create that hole 5 more times, and then I can divide 360 degrees by 5 and find the location of all those points. No, that's not necessary. If you really want to do that extra work, by all means, go ahead. But we do have the technology to just copying around this by creating a circular pattern. So I'm going to go to Create. I'm going to go down to Pattern. I'm going to select Circular Pattern here. When I come over here, I need to change it from bodies to features. Why? Because our hole is a feature. It's not necessarily a body. Click on that hole. It's going to automatically, no, we're going to select axis now. Then I'm going to choose this outside perimeter, and it's going to rotate 3 of them. I want 5, and just like that, we now have 5 identical holes rotated around that center. Okay. The last hole that we need to do is this big one that's right in the center right here. Okay, we mentioned that that has a diameter of 0.29 inches and a depth of 1.4 inches. So let's come back in. I'm going to create a new hole, and I'm going to show you something new and interesting about the hole feature. Not necessarily new to the tool, but maybe new to you. Is watch, if I just click any hole just randomly. So I'm just going to click a hole randomly right there. I'm not going to place it just yet. And I'm going to set my distance, all right? Or not my distance, my depth. So we said that the depth of this was going to be 1.4. Cool. 1.4. And we're going to have a diameter of, check my notes, 0.29. There we go. That looks right. Now, when I set the position, I want it to be dead center. So what I can do is I can select the outside edge of this base. So if I click on it, it will automatically center it to the center of that part. So I hit OK, and there we have all 6 of our holes correctly dimension, size, and everything. Okay. The last piece to this is creating a shell. All right, we need to create We need to create a shell feature, aka we need to hollow out this base, and I show you right here in our section view that we have our shell thickness of 0.055 inches. And we can also take a look and notice that the bottom of our part is going to be open. So I'm going to come to Fusion. I'm going to flip it over, choose my shell tool. I'm going to click on the bottom. I'm going to change our shell thickness to 0.055, and look at that. I hit enter, and now I have that entire base shelled out and hollowed. Okay, if I take a look at the top, you notice that it included the holes within the shell. So those holes are still there. They still have a bottom, but it's not entirely drilled through. So that is going to be how you do your screwdriver set base. That was 14 through 26. There is another step where it tells you to do the fillet up top. I'll leave that up to you. If you want to do the fillet, you can do it. You can make your own dimension for that. That's fine too. Have fun. The other thing is you are now responsible for figuring it out. Go ahead, do a little bit of research as to how to write made in the USA, and put your initials up top here. If you also want to put the title of the base, Sears or Craftsman or whatever you want. By all means, have fun, go at it, and change the color to blue. All right. Hope this video helped. Go ahead, pause and replay it, rewind it, fast forward as you please to get the part done in time. Have a good one.